Okay, hey everyone. Thank you so much for joining. I'm really excited to do this actually. So yesterday, oh wow, I don't have myself on mute. Okay, so yesterday I found that my Hamilton piece that I released last, I think, December was really laggy, and this wasn't and this wasn't happening even like 2 weeks ago when I was showing it at conferences in my talks, and so I was really confused. And then I kind of looked at it as much as I could by myself, narrowed it down to it shouldn't be anything in my code because I haven't changed this code in about 9 months, and that and so found out that it's really laggy. I think repaint took like 2 to 3 seconds, and in Firefox the dots weren't showing up at all, and that's kind of as far as I could really tell by myself. And then I didn't really know where to go from there in terms of debugging, and I kind of just set out this request for help and SOS on Twitter last night, and then there was so many really amazing help. So starting with Sam, who took a look on Chrome and helped debug. So yeah, you can see like the kind of the some of the interactions are still working, but then nothing is being rendered. But then so Sam took a look at this while on vacation, because I think he's like in Sicily right now, which is really amazing. And then so many people kind of went in and took a look at what was going on, and so I think the conclusion there was that it's a really big canvas of, I think the height is something like 16,000 pixels, and I scale it 2x so that it's crisp on Retina. And the reason why I originally did this was because I wanted the dots to follow the screen as the user scrolled down, and that's why I kind of had the canvas in the background as the same size of the screen, and that seemed to be working fine when I first pushed it. And then so it seems like on Chrome side there was something I didn't fully understand, but there was something in 61, I guess, that did something with Canvas, and then because of it, so there's a bug for the Compositor Paint team, because this is essentially a regression. It was working and then now it's not, and in Firefox, so that was the problem on Chrome, that just there's some sort of a bug that was introduced, and the short-term solution was to reduce, or actually just in general the solution is to reduce the canvas height. And then the Firefox team also kind of looked into it and agreed, for which I'm really grateful. So thank you so much for looking into this problem on both of the browsers. And then so what I'm going to do is, I then thought through, like, how can I keep that same scrolling effect, but then also keep the canvas size to only the window height, so that I don't have it as like 16,000 pixels, but rather something like 7 to 1,000 pixels or something like that. And I think I've kind of worked through this. Oh yeah, so Liquidor says saw a pretty cool visualization on Y Combinator the other day. Yes, please post the link, but I'm going to concentrate mostly on solving this. So my goal, I think what I've worked through in my head is currently I work out the X and Y positions of each of the dots whizzing past. So in the overall, like, 16,000 pixel height or something. And then it occurred to me, theoretically speaking, all I have to do is subtract whatever that pixel position, that Y position, from whatever is my scroll top. So basically, like, how much has been scrolled down, and then I should just have that same exact effect, right? Like, I think theoretically that makes sense. So I'm gonna try that. And then I probably should have done this where I looked at my code before I started this stream, but hey, live life on the edge. So I'm gonna go back into my code that I haven't looked at in like 10 months and try and make it work. So yeah, so I think at least in Chrome, I think I was told that the bug should be fixed in like 6 weeks or so, but I have a few more talks coming up which I need this to be running, so I'm gonna fix it, and then it's more performant anyways. So yeah, here I go. Hey, Cher! Cool, okay, so I'm so happy. I'm so, like, this was such a great thing to wake up to. Okay, so this is my local copy right now, and as you can see, like, I can't even really scroll. And so the first thing I'm gonna do is just go and look at my app.js and kind of remember how I structure my code. And so I also need to, I think, I'm hoping that so there was 2 solutions that were given, potential solutions that were suggested. One was to just take out the 2x scaling on my canvas, and the second one was to reduce the height of my canvas. So I think I'm gonna try and do the second one so that I don't have to take out my 2x scaling on my canvas, because that's pretty important for Retina displays to make it look crisp. Yeah, so I think if I remember my code correctly, the most important part, yeah, there's a lot of like scroll logic that happens in here. So I think the important thing is that, let's see, somewhere I calculate positions. So somewhere around here, so after filter, actually I think filter by conversation, filter by character, there's a master one that calculates the positions. Update section position, no. Filter by character, filter by conversation, filter by themes. Wow. This is, oh, okay, so reset filter. So each of these positions, okay, are calculated here. And I think, actually, maybe the very first thing I should do is just to reduce my canvas to just the window height. That should be the very first thing that I do. So I think I call it, so do I call it graph? It's been a while since I've looked at this. Oh, I guess I call it visualization. So that should be my canvas. Hey, Sarah! Cher says, I'm actually having some trouble with the canvas as well. I wonder if it's the same issue. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, mine is excessive. It's 16,000 pixels in height. And then I 2x scale it. So it's like, I guess, 32,000 something. Yeah. Oh, Sarah, hey. Yes, exciting. You know the code. Thank you for joining, Sarah. Okay, so the very first thing, so this is where I do, like, I think I do 2x, I scale by 2x here, and then I think later on what I want to do is that I only want to apply this 2x scale on Retina displays, so non-Retina displays will just get 1x scaling. So this is my, so there's a lot of code. I forgot how much code there was. Okay, so there's two canvases, one that draws and one that's the hidden canvas, so that I can yes, so that I can do my interactions. And then where do I set the width and height of my canvas? Oh, and if anybody wants to follow along, the code is all up here. So this is the one that I'm looking at right now. So actually this is all of the code. And then here I'm gonna paste this link in, and so the code that I'm currently looking at is this visualization.js. Yeah, I try and put in as good of names as I can for each of my functions, but yeah, you're right. I think somewhere in here I say like, I guess I say set up interactions. What do I do? Oh, I think I say crispy canvas to set the canvas. Ooh, so that's where I set the dimensions. Thank you, Sarah. So crispy canvas, I think, is where I set the, let's see, there we go. So I set the width and height. Okay, so I'm getting the viz height from, as a prop from app.js. Just to make sure, ooh, wait, is viz height, yeah. So just to make sure, I'm going to make sure I know exactly where I'm using viz height. Okay, so viz height, I'm thankfully only using it in visualization.js. Thank you, Pass Me, for not using it everywhere else. Thank you for making my life easier, Pass Me. Okay, so so I also have a flag for if it's a mobile phone or not, because I think in like mobile it was like a little bit shorter, but because I'm gonna now just set it to window height, I think I can just do window height for both of them, I hope. And then it should get like scaled down a lot. Is this now like, that was really fast though. Yes, okay, the height is now just, yes, just this, just this screen, which is great. So 1600 pixels. And then as you can see, that came in snappy and great. So that's awesome. And hey Sam, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for all your help. And thank you so much for doing this on your vacation in Sicily, for which I am completely jealous of. And please say hi to Susie for me if she's there. Yes, Cher says Sam is here too. All my new friends came to my favorite old brew house. Yes. So Sam, I hope I do you proud, and thank you so much again for looking into this. So yeah, so I just reduced the canvas, and then yeah, actually, so that's looking great. So now you can see that, like, how is this working? I currently, oh my god. I'm starting to remember my own code. This is great. So as you can see, oh, I love how snappy this is again. Okay, so as you can see, as I start scrolling down, it kind of booms, and then I guess this is the end of, so this is basically the end of that canvas height. But what you are seeing right now, right here, is I actually fixed the canvas. So for these analysis parts, I'm actually fixing the canvas. So then, and that's why that part is working. And then this part is not working because it's back to the non-fixed canvas. And this is, why? So I obviously made that. So it used to be that the dots then came together right here, and then yeah, formed that. How was I making that work? Okay. But I'm glad this is working. So I actually feel like so there are places where I fix the canvas position. Okay, so now this is fixed. So I should just fix it all the time. And so for that matter, is it just that my positions... So I should just be able to do it like without... Because I think somewhere in my calculations when it's not supposed to be fixed, like here it's not supposed to be fixed. So then I think I just add a scroll top to it. Wait, hold on. I need to figure out how I calculated things. I can't remember my... Okay, so underneath the hood, how the code is working is basically I have this kind of like master, not this one, file that basically says all the text that should go into each section. So yeah, so like and then how each of these sections should be positioned. And so I wonder if I just fix the positioning in here to not... Okay. And where do I do the position fixed? There's so much code. Wow, look at that. Okay, so render, oh, okay, so if the section is, I say if the section is consecutive, then fix it. So basically, if it's one of these analysis parts that's consecutive, fix it, and then if not, then do relative. So I should just have it be fixed the whole time. Oh, Sarah says, haha, it's so good to know it's not just me that does this when reading old code. No, me reading old code is like why didn't you like past me, why didn't you comment more? And then like present me when writing code is like, yeah, I should be able to fix this out or figure this out in the future. So Sarah says, could you fix position it and fake it based on the ratio of scroll height? Yeah, I feel like I should just be able to kind of take that part where it's consecutive, where it's already fixed, and then kind of like just make everything else I have work like that. So basically, yeah, I just need to slowly remember where in the code this is happening. I'm hoping to do this in like an hour. That's my hope, because then I need to get back to client work. So Shara says, last week when I went back to work on my new site after a month-long break, I had broken something before I paused and never fixed it. It took me 4 hours to figure out that I had commented something out temporarily. Sarah says, so that it looks like things are happening as you scroll, but really it's staying in place. Yeah, so I think that's exactly what I'm going to try and do. I just need to figure out the place where I did it. So position lines as image. So I have this thing called position graph where I literally go and figure out the positions of each of these lines. So position lines for filter. Ooh, this is not pretty. So focus Y, and so the thing that I was trying to think through that I thought might be a little bit tricky is that as these things are going around, and like, you know, coming in, like coming together and coming apart, the user is still scrolling. So if I have a fixed canvas, I actually need to, like, even if that dot is supposedly in the same Y position, it needs to kind of slowly like move up as the user is scrolling down. So it needs to have that illusion. So the first thing I was trying to do this. So I was just gonna make the position fixed for all time. And then see what happens. Ha! That's kind of fun. So it's like, as I'm scrolling down, and then it's gonna, I'm glad this is smoother though. Okay, so that's the first thing done. Actually, I should comment this. Canvas, reduce height to windows, fix position. And let me try and remember. So the original thing that I thought of was, wow, okay. There's so much math. What did I do? No. Okay, I don't think I want to touch this part. But this is essentially, wait, hold on, this is diamonds. No, actually, I think lines. So I think lines is the one I want because this is the one that's drawing the dots for me. And only these dots are, so diamonds is actually these tiny little like arcs. And then characters, what was characters even? Oh, characters draws this part. Lines, songs. Oh, I think songs just says the name. Yes, I think so. Themes. And then visualization. So I think lines is actually the important one because lines is the one that's like, the lines actually draws these dots. And so these are the things that are moving around. So here, calculate positions. Oh god, so this is actually figuring out, so this is actually figuring out going from these dots, so interpolating from these dots to these lines, so animating to these lines. Okay, so I don't think, so this is like basically the guts of actually drawing these dots and rectangles. So I don't think I want to touch this part. I think the part that I want to be fixing is the part where I'm calculating the positions themselves. So this is kind of like my render area, and this is my position area. So I need to figure out how I calculated the positions of each of these. So bot crew, hey bot crew, just imagine that your phone's running out of battery. But yeah, oh yeah, I have an alternative version on mobile. Thanks, Sarah. I'm trying to debug my business intelligence API, but the raw view of the data is just too big for the tool I'm using, so it's crashing. Okay. So let's just take, I have, so So these are basically positioning for characters. So I think this is the positions for this area. Okay. So this is the same position lines for filters. So this is like after, like if someone uses these filters, then that's how the lines are getting positioned. Oh my god, this code is so long. Position songs for filter, position diamonds for filter, calculate top. Whoa. What am I doing? Position select lines. Oh my god, yes, I did this where like, so I think this is, what is this for? Past me, if you had only commented. Because past me was like, you'll know what's going on here. Have them. Position lines as image. Okay, so this is calculating the star at the top. Position lines by character. Ooh, okay, so this is basically calculating when in the kind of quote unquote second section. So this is what I mean by position lines as image. And then when they come together, so it used to come together right here as like grouped by the songs. What's position line by character? Wait, so I use position lines by song for sure. Position lines randomly. Calculate hover polygons. Update section with height. Okay, I need to figure out what does update section with height do. So this is after filter, only update the height of a selection if it's the final filter tool. Oh, okay. So this is like sometimes when I filter, so at the very end here with this filter tool, sometimes when I like filter by certain like characters, the resulting visualization is really tall, so then I have to update that section's height accordingly. So that doesn't have anything to do with what we need to do today. Thank you for joining me on this very meandering path that I thought would be easier to fix. Yeah. So let's also kind of figure out, do I even use position lines by character? That might just be an artifact from, yeah, that is an artifact. Okay. So I think I've narrowed it down to where I'm calculating. So in each of these, I pass in this thing called top, which I think is the scroll top. So theoretically, if I just fudge that top, then I should have the same scrolling effect even with a fixed canvas in the background. And once I figure that out, I think I need to figure out the hidden canvas to make sure that the hover interactions are still working. Ooh! Oh, thank you so much, UX Adam, for hosting my stream. So yeah, I need to make sure that the hidden canvas is working with interactions. Although my hope is that it should work if I just fix. If I fix one canvas correctly, then the other canvas should work properly. That's my hope. That's my gut feeling. So let's kind of figure out what this top is. So Cher says, think of how fun this is though. Add the comments for next time. Oh yes. Well, I learned this lesson and then I'm like, the next time is still like, yeah, you'll figure it out, future me. But I mean, I am very slowly. It's slowly coming back to me. Okay, so position, so top. Okay, now let's go figure out where this top figure is getting passed in. So I think I call that from this kind of master sections data thing. So the header, I use position lines as image, and then image width. So it's image width. So I'm getting. So this one is position lines as image. So I pass in the lines width, left, and top. Where the top is the padding top, which is suspicious because the padding top is just a, yeah, that's a set number. Ah, okay, so I return, so in the sections what I do is I return all of these positions. So in app.js, I say positions.section. Oh man, look at that. So height, okay, hold on. After filter, positions, so each of these are positions. Where filter by character. So how does my on scroll work? So see, this is where I commented. So this is where I commented because this on scroll, like I had to really think through the logic. So I'm like thinking through. So if within a section, return that. If between the bottom of section and the top of the next, so that's where it should be random. Okay. If it's the final do, okay, selected characters, conversations, themes. If section and current, okay, if we just entered a new section, so the previous current so the previous section was null. Or if we immediately jumped into the new section, position, what am I saying? Okay, so positions, section.position, and send in those, position.random. Oh! Okay. Oh man, I don't fully remember this part. I had to do some weird voodoo magic. I think because I had to fake from like going from the whole canvas to a fixed canvas for this consecutive sections. So I had to fake this part. Look at that. So it's basically saying, what am I saying? If it's one of those consecutive sections, if it's one of those consecutive sections, then use positions.top. What's positions.top? What's positions? Okay, so this is positions. Where did I get positions.top? Position section, no position. This way. What's section positions.top? What's positions.top? I could probably just console log this. Where did that come from? Where is positions.top? Where do I get positions.top? I think towards the end of working on this project, I was doing a lot of like hacky voodoo magic. Yeah, I mean, I don't think programming is that exciting all the time. Nah. Let's see. positions.section. What did I want? So let me put a debugger here. What do I use positions for? So I have this gut feeling that I think if I just change my scroll top, that it would all work out. And so I did, if we just entered a consecutive section for the first time, don't pass in any filters, only want filters at the beginning. There's no section, but there was previously a section. Dot random, prev top. Yeah, so now that I'm going to fix the background canvas all the time, I think a lot of this logic can just go. But because I'm like a little bit too scared to touch it, I think I'm gonna try and change the minimal amount, which is, I think if I just change the scroll top, I have a feeling that it would work. So yeah, so definitely Frigi? Hey, so I agree. So sometimes programming isn't that fun. Like, I can't make this more entertaining. This is basically me trying to debug. But sometimes like I think there's like times when I like make something and it runs and it's really, really fun, and there's times like this that's like just debugging that's like not that glamorous and not that entertaining, but I think it's also it's still a very important part of the process, and I thought it'd be good to kind of like stream it and get it recorded for the future. Like if I want to refer back to it in the future for whatever reason, if anybody else wants to see like how I debugged and then refactored the code a little bit to like fit this exact use case, which is that there's a performance problem when the canvas is too huge. And even if Chrome and Firefox decide to fix that, I think it's still better for me to kind of make my code more performant. And this is something that I didn't really think about like 10 months ago when I was first working on this project. And I mean, back then I was just trying to like get it out as soon as possible. I think I was like working on it for 3 months, and then I thought through some of the performance things, but then like this just didn't really occur to me as, actually, I'll admit, reading through some of the responses, I realized how naive I was, because I used to have each of these dots as an SVG element, and that obviously was really, really slowing down the page in the browser, because there was like, I think I have 1,000+ dots moving around and animating, and then so that's why Sarah recommended I use Canvas, which was a really great feedback. And then so I didn't even really think about because like SVG, I think so much about SVG and how many DOM elements it is and re-rendering that, and the performance on that I didn't really think about the fact that of course Canvas is just one DOM element, but it still needs like memory to it needs memory to keep track of each of the pixels that's being rendered. So of course if my height is 16,000 pixels, that's a lot that it takes up in memory, and I just didn't really think that part through. So my goal right now is to just reduce my canvas height so that it uses as little memory as I can make it. So I'm gonna just keep going and try finishing this. I don't think what positions is I think positions is what I use to that is not a very great name. I think positions is basically what I set state as, so I think that's just my state. Okay, if that's the case, I think what I care about is I think what I should really care about is just the scroll top. So scroll top is window.scrollY or document dot document element dot scroll top. Yeah, so this is literally just scroll top. And so I need that. So this is how, so I use scroll top to figure out which section we're in. But once we figure that out, I think the scroll top could just be can it just be, so prep top, where am I using all of this? Positions dot top. And then when I set state, so after I figure out what section we are in, and then I figure out, so it seems like what I'm doing here is figuring out what to draw. So I haven't drawn it yet. So what are these? The filtered by themes. So these are, okay, so these are, okay, these are basically what gets called, okay, so these are what gets called on the interactions. Okay, so the important part is, I think right here, when so this is where the y coordinate of all of the dots are getting calculated. So let's see, section dot position, and it gives me back line positions, and the y, so these are the y positions. Ooh, huh. So the y positions are, so it's assuming, okay, let me see if I can explain this. The y positions are assuming no scroll, and then I think I'm adding the scroll top later. So actually, let me go to a different part of my visualization. Yes, memory management. I've been working in D3 for the last 5 years, so since 2012. Yeah, so summer 2012 is when I picked up D3. So this is basically, I mean, it's not really a visual documentation of my code. It's just, I figured if people wanted to kind of join and see, then it'd be great and it'd be fun. Okay. Alright, so right here is where okay, so this is where I now have the new positions for each of these dots that's whizzing by. I think I'm getting closer. I hope I'm getting closer. And yeah, actually the y coordinates for some of these are well into the negatives and also in the 2000s. So I have this feeling that somewhere, if I just don't add the scroll top, then then it would work. So I don't know why I didn't think of this when I was like when I was putting this together in the first time around. But hey. So section dot top positions dot top is equal to scroll top. What was I doing here? So where do I, so now does that mean, so this top, interpolate top. What's my interpolate top? What do I do in interpolate top? So this is now my background viz. Okay. Wait. I revised my previous statement of I need to write comments, which is that I need to write comments that make sense, because some of these I leave comments. The parts that I think is like took me a while to think through the logic, I do write comments. But the comments don't make sense to me right now because we're using alpha, which goes towards 0. The top we're going towards must be 0. As soon as this comes in, make sure to stop the simulation. There was a top and a prev top. Force tick, simulation alpha min, top, math max, var top, draw circles, top, this lines dot draw circles, pass in top, force end. Where do I use top? Position no force. When do I have no force? Oh, so position no force is when, okay, so that's when the simulation ends. Okay. Position, elapsed duration, okay, I'm going to put a debugger here on the force tick. So the force tick is basically these dots whizzing around, and then at every single tick, look at that. So that's the top, and that comes from here, D3.4 simulation, okay, and here, nope. But I think I'm starting to understand my own code. Okay. Interpolate number, which is from, I think this is the key. So I think I have this theory. So this is basically saying when I'm so what's the difference between top and prev top? So prev top So my, okay, so my top, so this is my previous top, or so this is my current top, which is, if I change all of these to 0, because essentially this is saying, at this point I should just give it a try. Okay. If enter new section directly from old without registering the null section in between them, fake that. Okay. So for now, just try this position top is equal to 0 business. Oh! Nope, nope, nope. Okay, so that works. And then this is where it, yes. Nope. That's not, that's kind of? Huh. Kind of. Not exactly. This is not exactly. So it's like coming in all the way from the bottom. But it is showing up. So it seems like I'm halfway there, which is that so it's ending at almost the correct position. Okay, and that's now ending at the correct position. So these filters are ending, well, it's like a little bit below where I would like it to, but I'll figure that out. But, so it's ending up in the correct position, but it's coming in from the bottom, which means that whatever the previous part is, positions dot top, print top. So let me do both positions dot top is equal to 0 and prev top is equal to 0. Oh. I think that was it. I'm crying. Why? Okay, so each of these sections are a tiny bit off. But the idea is there. Okay, so the idea is definitely there. Oh, let me also point out the bug that I never could figure out, which is this random this random black stroke on the last like dot every single time. I couldn't figure that out. Yeah, so that worked. That was both a lot easier than I expected, but also took a lot of roundabout thinking to get to it. And I don't know how I feel about this. So I think what I want to do right now is to kind of go through each of these places where I'm setting the top. And then, because right now I'm just like brute forcing this down here. So I saw two places I needed to fix. Well, let me just make sure. So this is working correctly. So the two places I needed to fix is so at this point I don't want this to be fixed anymore, because I don't want it to like go down into here. So that's one. And then I also need to figure out why this positioning, like why this position by characters is also, I also just realized I've lost my hover. Okay, so I lost my hover in here, which is okay. So the hover is probably being positioned somewhere else. So I think three things. Number one, I need to figure out that last filter section. How can I get this to stop scrolling, I think, after this point? So I'll probably actually, when I get into this final section, I'll probably just like, I'll change the position, I'll stop it from a fixed position and probably put it back into a relative position. And then I need to also fix the little hover thing is gone. And then finally the character or group by song positions. And also I need to right now check mobile to make sure that like this has affected nothing, hopefully. I also of course need to check it on the actual mobile. Yeah, so that's off, but that's correct. And that's also correct. Oh, but okay, so that's not happening anymore, which is it's kind of hard to tell, but in each of these sections I'm highlighting the correct song, and it's supposed to like nudge it back up. It's supposed to nudge up this song so that it's like centered, and that's not happening. And then that last one, what's supposed to happen there? I'll check that out too. Actually, so polygraph, I'm putting okay, let's not do that. Okay, I'll figure that out also. But I'm glad that the solution is relatively straightforward. Thank you, Cher. Cher said it's so beautiful even while it's broken. Thank you for your vote of confidence. But okay, so I can, who still wants to see this actually? So I can just go and fix this part, but it's just gonna be me like reading through my own comments, trying to remember what's happening. Jumped immediately into a new section, faked the null section. So this one is like about how so there was like a few different hey Cher thank you again for your vote of confidence. So that part is to deal with the fact that, so each of these I consider a section, and then in between each of these sections, so that up there was a section, and this down here is a section, but this in between I consider as like a null section, like kind of like a, yeah, so like this also is like kind of like an in between section, and for that I just kind of do like a random positioning. And I think that's why sometimes like I can scroll too quickly, and like jump from like sometimes I can scroll so quickly that I jump sections or jump the in between sections, and so I think this is what this piece of code is trying to take care of. So if this section isn't equal to the current section, so this is saying if it's one of these consecutive sections, I want either the positions dot top or 0. Positions dot top being position lines as image. Oh wait, position graph, position lines as image. Do I have any? So I'm going to step through this one at a time. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Okay, so positions, and then now the positions have top, and this top, where is this top calculated? Dot top height. Where's this dot? So top and prev top. I don't know where the initial top is set. But okay. So random. So is it random or not? And then what is the section? The section being the first ELIZA section, and that is the position. This is the top position of the ELIZA section. Whether or not to use force, which should be true for now. And this is saying, do I have a current section? Where do I have current section? So this is saying, where does current section come from? Oh, do I define it up top? Yes, okay. So I don't have a current section, so what I want my prev top to be is, it is a consecutive section, so either positions dot top or 0. I'm wondering where that positions dot top is coming from. This dot state dot top is null, so that doesn't exist. And scroll top is 8,000. Okay. Actually, this is the part that is working. So what I should be doing is going up here. Okay. So again, okay, so section that exists is the songs section, that's the top, and then this dot state dot top should be null because we haven't scrolled previously yet. But for some reason I have a positions dot top. No, I don't. Okay, cool. I also don't have a positions dot top. Where is that initial one being? Okay. Either way, so section should not be consecutive, and so I should be using, now I should be using scroll top. Okay, and this is done so that even on first load, I have, it seems like I have the effect of like smoothly coming in from, so that like it doesn't all just come in all the way from the top. So it used to be that like, so okay, I remember I think what this part is supposed to do, which is when I had that big 16,000 pixel canvas, I had to set kind of like the previous top programmatically to whatever my current scroll top is, so that it didn't like, everything didn't like, if I was all the way scrolled to the bottom and then I refresh, like everything isn't coming in down from like, coming from like, you know, 0 pixels all the way down to like 8,000 pixels or something like that. But I think this no longer applies. This no longer should apply. And then positions top is, if it's consecutive, then 0, and section dot top plus positions dot top or 0. So I think what I have this feeling that I should just be taking every single one of them that says section dot consecutive and only taking that part. So basically this 0 plus positions dot top, and then in here, so this one was like, and this one is, if we just entered a consecutive section for the first time, if there's no section but there was previously a section. Okay, I'm ready to try and fix each of those one at a time. So here, I think if I just do this, and never ever take the scroll top. So actually, now this should just be positions dot top or 0. Okay, let's try that. Okay. And this one is saying, like if I go from here and then I immediately go, I think I can now take out this if statement. So like this is like if I scroll too fast. I think I can now take this out. So this is probably just gonna always be 0, but I will keep it just in case. Wait, this makes no sense. Oh well. Okay, sure. Okay, so that's the top. And then if we just enter a new consecutive section for the very first time, this dot state dot top. I think that should work. And then this is if there's no section, but there was previously a section. So this is where we do it randomly. And this one is saying if there is a current section and it's consecutive, then scroll top, or else So current section. So the previous section is consecutive. Then you scroll top. Else. Oh man, maybe it is just 0 all throughout. I guess it is just 0 all throughout. Is it just me or are the dots a lot smaller? I guess it's supposed to be a lot smaller. Okay. I guess that's working as it should. If that's the case, I'm going to take all of these like prev top and all of that. I'm just gonna just all set it to 0 like I did previously down here. Yep, and I'm just gonna, it's always just gonna be 0. And let's take a look at persistent lines by song and see why it's like down so far. Top. So position lines by song. And top. Why is that down so far? Okay, I think I'm pretty happy with how it's working now. I'm gonna commit this. Set prev top and set top to 0 at all times for fixed canvas. I'm pretty happy with how this is going, and I knew that there's the bugs I need to fix, one of them being, like, it's just that some of the sections, the top positions are a little bit off, but I think that's not something I need to like, you know, keep live streaming about. So I just want to say thank you so much for joining. And then I guess that felt, yeah, so yeah, thank you so much for joining. I'm glad I was able to figure this out with so much really great kind help. And hopefully I'll have all the bugs figured out by end of this week for me to push the updated version, and that's the updated version that's like much more hopefully performant. Oh, I need to check this on Firefox. And it's drawing! Yes! Okay. And if I scroll down, okay, so that's actually, I think that's just being like pushed down like halfway, so that seems like a pretty trivial bug. Okay, the top is a bit weird on Firefox there. Like the padding I think is just not going through. There seems to be quite a bit of padding up here also. But yeah, mostly it's working as it should, for which I'm really happy about. And thank you so much for sticking through with me, even as I was like kind of just trying to figure out my code and rambling, and it probably wasn't the most entertaining thing to watch, but hopefully it kind of showed like the painful process of debugging. Especially debugging a project that you haven't taken a look at in like 10 months. But thankfully I wrote the code, so at least I remembered a few things. Thank you so much, and then see you next time. I actually wanted to do at least 1 or 2 more streams this week, working on my T-Swift database. I was hoping to do one this afternoon, but this one took a lot longer than I thought it would, and I still need to work on my client projects. So, yeah, it will be a little bit of touch and go. Okay, alright, thank you, bye-bye!